message that I want to deliver is the imperative of a new order. In many ways, Peter Obi did not suddenly get popular. The Nigerian people found Peter Obi. Peter Obi did not find the Nigerian people. The Nigerian people saw in what he was trying to articulate something that they were fighting for, something they wanted, and they adopted him. And this is what the movement has been about. Until people understand it and get it, they are going to be lost. First, you don't run a country so badly that is very best, its finest, are trying to get out, because that's the only way they can have a meaningful existence. If they get out, some struggling through the Sahara Desert, some being able to get on planes and fly to North America and Europe and elsewhere, even Australia, I don't think that in actualizing themselves where they are, they will not think back to where they have come from and how, if not to just change things for the sake of right, to even get revenge on those who prevented them from becoming what they could have become in the land of promise into which they were born. And I think that if you miss that phenomenon, you've missed everything. And this is really what is happening in Nigeria, to my view. When I come to these conversations in a triple mode, really, I come to it as a citizen who's been activist for 50 years from my undergraduate days at the University of Nigeria. I come to it as a social scientist, somebody who has studied social movements in human history and recognize that we just may be insensitive to the reality of what we are dealing with. And that right now, our continent, Africa, is getting tired and fed up with people who come into positions of public authority, become entitled, and see the people as just pawns for them to exercise power and use public resources. Rather, as they can see happening in Asia and elsewhere, leadership emerges that takes advantages of the endowments of those societies to make life better for everybody, improve opportunity, have inclusion and growth and progress. I also come to this as a political actor who, many years ago tried to make that cross from activists to actually impacting things directly. And I recognize that the major failing of our country has been the political recruitment process. It may shock all of you to hear this, but in 2015, when this push led to, okay, what's the option? And then, of course, we didn't have options thrown at us. We had the option of Muhammadu Buhari and the incumbent at the time, who some of us helped get into the position. Good luck, Jonathan. We worked very hard. We literally put our lives on the line for him to be there. We're disappointed, very disappointed that he didn't use that position to make change happen. It was easy to push around, so he didn't take advantage of the 2014 Constitutional Conference, which he called and all of that. And we thought, no, perhaps we need a new order. Turned out the only thing that was being offered was Muhammadu Buhari. And Atiku Abubakar, and I tell people all the time, all these actors are friends of mine. I have known Atiku Abubakar for 40 years. I knew him when he was wearing customs uniform. I met with him in his office in Ikeja, Murtala Mohammed Airport. I've known Bola Tinubu for years. He says that his claim to fame was from interpreting me and my writings during the struggle, whatever that means. So the point is, I know these people. I know that they have come to a point of expiration in terms of what they can do for Nigeria. And I recognize that, anyway, I leave that track for a moment. What they do, and they're doing it already, we'll give you customs, we'll give you the massa, we will give you the share, the country, to get people to support them, to get power. And so by the time they're in power, there's no country to govern. It's just a pool of shared territory. So fortunately, Peter Obi saw there was nowhere going in the PDP and came out into the Labour Party and the Third Force movement that I had, quite frankly, given everything I had to build in for the last, 2 election cycles. And I immediately saw the hand of God in trying to set a course for us. And the rest of Nigeria saw it. And we are where we are, but there's plenty of work to do. There is so much work to do. And the diaspora has a fundamental role in that. As I keep saying, if you look at the history of the 20th century and the countries that emerged in it, beginning with Japan, following the Meiji Restoration, the end of Tokugawa shogunate and the Meiji Restoration, you will see a clear role that the Japanese diaspora, especially those in Germany, played in making Japan technology engaged and therefore the new Japan's emergence. We don't want to talk about India rising, China rising, all of which are in our face. I therefore think that the role that the diaspora can, should, and must this current struggle is to ensure that the forces of darkness in Nigeria do not get in the way of the forces of light working towards a Nigerian renewal. I want to thank you for what you have done and say that there's a lot more to do because the journey just started and the forces that are against progress have amassed huge sums of public resources, have weaponized poverty. And if we do not do the needful, we may find ourselves back in the pits. My great fear is that our country may not survive that track of travel.